I have my. I was getting ready to say something. I was getting ready to sound like a rich guy. My housekeeper just made me some stuff.
It's all right. You know what? To be a rich guy and being taking care of people is not a bad thing. It's just like, it's what you do with it, and I think you've been amazing. But what got you to be a rich guy? And rich doesn't mean money.
Rich,
I'm not
rich
talking not talking money.
I always say rich is not about money. Rich is about options.
Rich is about options, but when I look at you
have options in life? If you can only do one thing, that's very, it doesn't feel free.
Yeah.
So rich is about options.
Well, you've created your options. Nothing was handed to you. Nothing was said, oh, you're just blessed and here you go, enjoy stardom and being the best.
I've had help. I'm not going to sit here and nobody helped me. And
so who helped you? I know Eddie Murphy discovered you, right?
I mean, the Eddie Murphys of the world, the Laura Michaels of the world. But then, then it's like this guy named, there's like the unsung heroes. A guy named Nelson George kind of taught me how to write and exposed me to good films and stuff. A friend of mine, Lewis Hamilton, exposed me to quirky, weird, exposed me to Kubrick, and when I was a kid in Bed-Stuy, I'm watching Dr. Strangelove and weird Woody Allen movies and stuff. So there's there's the obvious people, and then, there's the other, there was a waitress that used to work at the comic strip named Francesca that just told me how arrogant I was one night. It was and I try not to be arrogant. I try to work on this ego thing. There's lots of people, lots and lots and lots and lots. I've got Andre Harrell, who just passed.
Rest in peace. Yep.
Keenan Waynes was a great mentor guy. Always, give you 5 minutes and answer your questions.
Yeah.
Damon Wayans, by the way, taught me literally everything I know about being a stand-up. Lots of people.
You talk about arrogance, and I found that arrogance, which I also have been accused of being throughout my career in life, which I've tried to overcome, but there's something about arrogance that gets you on that stage in the beginning. There's something about arrogance that gets you out there.
But it's like a dance you got to walk, man. Because if you're too arrogant, if you're too bitter, if you're too caught up in yourself, people don't want to help you.
Yeah.
People don't want to reach out to you. People don't want you around. You know what I mean? People don't want you around for experiments.
Yeah.
You got to really, there's a few assholes in show business, but not the really successful people, not as many as you would think.
It's funny, Chevy Chase has always been referred to as the biggest asshole in show business. But he's an exception. He's so great.
Yeah, but this most really successful people that I've met are, first of all, they know exactly who they are. They're very, just genuine and, giving. And you got to give to get.
I agree. And it's great advice for everybody who starts out and, younger the people are generally, and the more talented they are, the more arrogant seems to come with it, because they think the best at something. Meanwhile, they're still only 16, 17, 18 years old. They don't know shit yet. And at what age, though, in your life,
there's a lot of talent out there. Yeah.
Did you know you were talented, though, at a young age, in a way that others people weren't in the world of either comedy or storytelling or writing?
One second. My daughter's calling.
No worries. That's how it is.
She's just going to draw me back to mom. It's mommy.
Okay. I love you too. Okay. It's my 18-year-old daughter who's going to college. Going to college in Paris in September. So I'm going to only have one kid.
Is it the American University of Paris?
Yes,
or
the American University of Paris. So I'm going to be down to one kid. Yes.
How old's your younger?
16. So I got about a year and a half, and then I can pretty much live anywhere I want to live, go anywhere I want to go. Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Well, we were talking about when did you know that you had something unique, or just a love or passion for something?
I knew I wanted to be a comedian when I was 7, 8 years old.
Because
it just interests me. I just like, back then, there was a lot of variety shows on television, and you'd see like a singer, and you'd see dancers and jugglers and comedians, and just comedians to me were just more interesting than, Flip Wilson was more interesting to me than Gladys Knight. Like, I could see people sing in church, but this comedy thing's like, wow, how do you even do that? And it just brought me so much joy. So I
agree. I was obsessed with comedy growing up my whole life, and which is why I'm such a big fan of yours. And I can go all the way back to the beginning.
It's like, it's like verbal magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To make people laugh, like, you can watch it and you can study it, and you're still like, how do you do that? How do I was
what I felt that what you've done so well in such an incredible way is that, you've taken comedy, which obviously most comics or a lot of comics do have a really creative way of turning a mirror on ourselves and pointing out the obvious things that we do on a daily basis that we don't necessarily articulate in a comedic way. But you've done it in such a laser sharp way, whether it's the problems of the times or politics, and you've always sort of gravitated towards the hardships and the bad things of our society, which are really relevant today, obviously, but have been relevant forever to you. When did you become so focused on that genre, or do you think it just kind of morphed with age, or was it from your childhood and growing up, or what?
I mean, it's weird when you're a comedian or you're a writer or what, anybody that puts pen to paper, it's like your first job is not even being funny. Your first job is just notice everything. Mm. So your mind is almost like a surveillance camera. It's like, even though you're not zeroing in on anything, you pick up everything. You know what I mean? Like, everything ends up in your head. And yeah, I just realized, like, I was good with patterns. I was good with seeing, like, ooh, this person did this and this person did this 3 weeks ago. And then 5 people, before I know it, I realized 5 people had said something or acted a certain way. I was like, oh, I can make a joke about that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like finding, like, the patterns in human behavior. And
yeah.
If you can do that. That's
an art form. And to do that, to make it where it's actually funny to other people, not just to you, is talent. In its of itself.
What you're talking about is universal. Mm-hmm. You're like, okay, it'll probably work. It'll probably get a laugh,
I love when you talk about liars. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. You're not real. That's not your hair. That's not your fingernail. It's my favorite.
Oh, that one. I don't even.
There's so many favorites of mine of yours, but the comedic, the comedian of itself forever has been politically incorrect, and that's where you can get away with it because it's in the kind of wrapping of comedy. Today, however, it seems like that is an even bigger challenge than ever before, what you can and can't say. Now, even in comedy, does that make your life more difficult, or does it inspire you to push the envelope more?
A lot of good art's made during censorship. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. Has it affect Dave? Not really. It's, I don't know. I don't think about the censorship that much. I mean, yeah, people.
You hosted the Oscars, like big things like that, to be able to do that or not be able to do that now because of things of the past coming back and haunting. It's kind of a scary time for comedy. I felt like it was disappointing to me to see all those kind of reactions to comedy specifically.
I mean, if it's funny, it's undeniable. It cuts through all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't really worry about the censorship. I mean, did I just go hubba-da-hubba-da? I wish, it's weird, because a lot of the censorship is coming from people that don't respect comedy to begin with. Because if you really respected comedy, you would realize the audience is always right. And I've never seen a comedian continue to do a joke that doesn't get a laugh.
Sure.
Like you don't have to tweet me. You don't have to DM me to tell me something's not funny. I'm listening.
Yeah, I just felt like the danger to today is that
I don't ever want to do it again.
But nowadays with social media and the way things go, like wildfire, you work on one joke in one place. It could be in like to 10 people, and it can go worldwide and offend all these people. And next thing you know, you're apologizing on the news the next day. It's just to me, it's just it's a sad part of the times.
I mean, I guess it's a younger guy's problem. It's like, the way I look at it is like, I have a relationship with the audience. Mm-hmm. And the audience, and me and the audience, we've literally been dating for 30 years.
Yeah.
And we have a shorthand, and the audience knows what I mean. The audience knows how I feel. And I'm not really, as long as I'm true and honest with the audience, I'll be fine.
Agreed. All right, well, that's a good point of view.
Yeah, I mean, the surest way,
as opposed to walking on eggshells.
Yeah, it's like you're married. It's like surest way to mess up your marriage is worrying about what people outside of your house think.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
And that's how I feel about my relationship with the audience. It's like I have a relationship with them. Like, boo, you know how, what's that old John B song? They don't know about you and me. They don't know about this here. Like,
yeah.
So I got a relationship with the audience. Bill Burr has a relationship with the audience. Dave Chappelle has a relationship with the audience. And if you're not in that relationship, you might see something out of context and get offended.
Yeah, totally.
Remember, me and my audience, we're good with this.
I've been there for the 30 years, so I agree with that 100%. And speaking of 30 years ago, did you know New Jack City and that Pookie role would be such a big deal, or no?
It's wild. I had no idea. I said remember. It's weird. We rehearsed for like a week or almost 2 weeks. It was just me, Ice-T, Alan Payne, maybe Chris Williams was there, Vanessa Williams. It was like a bunch of us. We were in rehearsal 2 weeks without Wesley. Mm-hmm. I'd never seen Wesley. I didn't see the Major League movie. I kind of knew him from the Michael Jackson Bad video, right? So I didn't know if he could act or not.
Willie Mays Hayes, great.
Right. So we're doing rehearsal, and then Wesley comes in and sits at the head of the table. Now, while we're doing rehearsal without him, we're like, not that we thought the movie was bad, but we just thought it was a job. Mm-hmm. We just thought it was a job, and okay, we'll be done with this. And, I was getting scaled. I was like, okay, maybe I can get a down payment on a Corvette or whatever. It was literally like 88 or 89, right?
Yeah.
Wesley comes in, sits at the head of the table, and starts reading Nino Brown. And me and Ice-T looked at each other, and me and Al, we're like, oh, shit. We're about to be in a motherfucking classic. Mm-hmm. Like, this guy is amazing. It was like Marlon Brando sat down. Mm-hmm. And as soon as he started, it took us, everybody realized how good they had to be. Like, when Nino sat down, it was,
Talk about the greatest names in the movie. Nino Brown, G-Money, Pookie.
So, it's not that I knew it was going to be a classic, but I knew we were going to be heard. Yeah. And it's weird. It's 30 years later. It's the biggest movie I've ever been in.
And I'm sure that's the one that people talk to you. Pookie. Yeah.
Yeah, I get called Pookie all the time. Guys used to bring me crack. They used to try to give me crack. I'd be at a club and real drug dealers were like, hey, take some of this. I got something for you. And be like crack in my.
Unbelievable.
Like, okay. Then
that was great. Did you feel like that movie was a pivotal point in your career, or just kind of developed over the years and time, or was Saturday Night Live something more special? And then hindsight, you look back and you're like, those 2 years or 3 years, whatever, was incredible. And then you got fired or left, whatever the hell the story is. Was that the blessing in disguise you needed?
Thing. It's like I wasn't sophisticated enough to know how I wasn't sophisticated enough to know how good it could be for my career.
Yeah.
Okay, I was really about partying. I was really about drugs. I was really about a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like, I knew I was famous after New Jack. Like, I don't think I took the subway for, like, 20 years after New Jack.
Right. You made it.
Yeah, like, ooh, I can get into any club.
Right.
Pretty much anywhere in the world. Like, that was, like, my concern. So, it's weird. It's a lot of my career. I could have, if I was sophisticated, I could have done a lot more with that part. I remember, here's a weird one. Right after New Jack, Julian Schnabel, you know Julian Schnabel.
Mm-hmm.
I think he wanted me to play. I think he wanted me to play Basquiat. Like, there was talk of me playing Basquiat. All right, you ever see that movie
great.
with Jeffrey Wright? I mean, Jeffrey Wright's amazing, and he's a much better actor than me. But I was, again, I didn't have the sophistication. I didn't even know who Basquiat was then. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know who Schnabel was. I didn't know who Basquiat was. I was really from Bed-Stuy. I was really like this, I was just a crackless Pookie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. But you grew up in Bed-Stuy in the height of the rise of hip-hop, which that in itself is like an incredible time to be alive and watch that.
Rise of crack. I saw crack. I saw hip-hop. I used to hang at the Albee Square Mall with Big Daddy Kane and Bismarck and, Like,
did you open for Run DMC or something?
Huh?
Back in the day? Did you have something to do? Were you on tour with Run DMC? I wasn't on tour with Run DMC. It was weird.
I was supposed to tour Run DMC, and at the last minute, either Russell Simmons or Leora Cohen, like, kicked me off the tour. Like, I never even made it, right? They hired this other guy. His name was Chris Thomas. He used to do a lot of impressions. He was really good out of D.C. And I ended up doing the Heavy D tour. I ended up spending the summer.
Another rest in peace. I loved him.
Another rest in peace.
Personally.
Andre Harrell liked me and asked me if I wanted to open up for Heavy D. So I spent the summer touring with Heavy D and then Albie Shore.
So you were one of the boys. Heavy D.
Yeah. So I did Heavy D, Albie Shore, Keith Sweat, and I did Terrence Trent D'Arby. I spent like basically 2 years on the road with, like, not rock stars, but R&B stars. And
it's amazing.
Yeah, it shaped.
And then I assume you got to meet a lot of those. Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Russell Simmons, the Andre Harrells, the Puff early on.
Yeah,
Biggie comes
Puff,
in.
It was like literally Puff would be at me, Puff, Mary. We'd be like in Brooklyn, like outside of Andre Harrell's office, like waiting for him to like throw crumbs our way, like.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet Biggie or no?
Yeah, I used to see Biggie all the time. Biggie used to live. I used to see Biggie. There's a McDonald's on Fulton and like Fulton and Flatbush. Mm-hmm. Fulton and Flatbush. I see Biggie there every day. Every single day, Biggie would get there. He'd be sitting shotgun. Lil C's would be driving. So yeah, I met Biggie a bunch of times. Or they would eat at Mike's. There's a place on DeKalb Avenue that they would come by for breakfast, and Biggie would get, fish, grits and salmon or whatever.
So sad when people of that talent die at a young age. It's like, I think like now how wonderful it is. I get to like sit and hear Nas at a dinner table talk, or Snoop or Dr. Dre, and these guys are walking around. It's like Biggie, Tupac. The fact that they're not around is like such a
I've had
a
a very Forrest Gumpish life. I've kind of met everybody. Some of it makes no sense.
I mean, I know you were at the White House.
Like yesterday, I actually. I'm brag. I'm not gonna say why I talked to these people, but yesterday I talked to Biden and Kanye at different. like that's my life.
Yeah. Listen,
yes,
you're
at the
in
White
that
House.
world. So how were those White House? I mean, I heard because Cassidy, who's actually going to come on after this for a second, who DJ'd those parties, said it was just mind-blowingly cool.
I was
to be at the White House.
Yeah, I was at the last White House party. It was great. It was incredible. It was like you died and went to black heaven. Like everybody was there. It wasn't even just everybody. I remember that night. I actually had my longest conversation with David Letterman that night. But the sad thing is, I remember was while we were leaving the party, you could see the Raptors going up, the seats for the inauguration, and you're like, oh.
Right.
This is really almost over. And this shit's really about to change. And,
and it sure as hell did.
More right.
It was great while it lasted.
Yeah, it was good while it lasted.
What's on your back wall there? Are those cassettes or DVDs?
No, those are books.
Oh, those are books. I don't really read that much. Clearly, I don't recognize them.
That's a book. Yeah, books and TV. Yeah, this is my...
Are you a big reader? I know you're a big writer.
I'm a big reader. It's weird. It's weird. I'm listening to a lot of books on tape now. I got diagnosed with a learning disorder that I guess I've had my whole life. And I've always had a hard time reading. I've almost always had to read books 3 times.
Same. You ever get to the bottom of the next page and you're turning it, so you know you read it, but you have no idea why you're turning it, and then start over again?
Lately,
ADD, baby.
In January, I got diagnosed. I went to this doctor and whatever, and they did this whole cognitive test on me, and I got diagnosed with this learning disorder. And one of the things the doctor told me is you should listen to your books from now on.
That's all I do,
so
and it's great because I can watch and hear and read, or hear and comprehend versus reading it. It's virtually impossible.
Yeah, so I kind of listen, and I keep a pen, and I listen, and I write notes. So I don't really...
What are you listening to now that's great? Anything top of mind?
I'm listening to this book about childhood trauma called The Body Keeps Score. It's really deep. I'm listening to that right now. Then,
when you're done, try the Algebra of Happiness.
The Algebra of Happiness. I will check that out.
Yeah,
that Body Calloway Keeps Score is some deep. If you have any,
I'm gonna write it down. The Body Keeps Score.
It's a good one, and some of it it'll apply to you, and some of it you'll be like, oh, okay, that's why that person is that way. It'll give you compassion for the people that have done you wrong.
Got it.
And it'll help you
forgive your enemies, but don't forget their names.
Yeah, it'll give you compassion. It'll definitely make you think of things in a different light. It'll make you far less judgmental.
Okay, I'm going to do it. And next time I see you, we'll discuss it. What's your favorite movie? You got one?
This is my favorite movie. It changes all the time. You know what my favorite movie is right now? Is The Social Network.
You like the journey story?
Huh?
You like the story of a journey of how things actually become?
You know what I like about it? I'm trying to move because I guess this guy's cutting my grass or something.
That's right.
But what I like about it is it's they're both right. You talking
about the Winklevi, right? Or you talking Zuckerberg?
Mark Zuckerberg's absolutely right about not expanding the business and not taking ads. And the other guy's right. Sometimes
talking about the Justin Timberlake character, Sean Parker.
They're all right. Justin Timberlake's right. What's the other kid?
The CFO or the COO or whatever, who's raising the money. Yeah, I forget his name, but true story. Yeah, they're all
sometimes in life it's not even about right or wrong. It's just about what level of right. So
is that the dope car collection I see in the back? Oh boy.
Have things. Have bike.
Are those electric? Yeah, do you use the electric powered with bikes or no?
I'm scared of electric bikes because it's
great for hills.
Yeah, it's just I'm just finally in some decent shape. I actually have a I don't have a 6-pack. I got like a 4.5, and
That's great.
it's like electric bike. Nah, man, it's like
no. But the beauty of the electric bike, and my partner Eugene uses it all the time now. He's moved to Connecticut for a while, but he's like, no, I bike the 10 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles. But when you're going up these brutal hills, it just gets you through it, so you can continue on it. All right?
Like I'm trying to stay in shape, man. I'm trying to like.
Well, you got more shit coming up. Speaking of which, Fargo, my favorite show. Honestly, when people ask me during quarantine, what should I watch? I say start with season 1 with Billy Bob, and then you'll be hooked. So you're in season 4, is that correct?
Oh yeah, we haven't finished filming yet.
Fargo.
Yeah.
So it's been delayed because of obviously the situation, but
almost done, and then we got like 2 more episodes to go. But I go back. Allegedly, I start in August.
And you're playing good guy, bad guy.
I'm playing a bad guy. I just play this guy Lloyd Cannon, and he's a gangster in 1950s. Not Fargo, actually, in St. Louis. Am I messing? Literally, it's been a minute. Kansas City, that's it. We're from
Kansas City, right? That's where the gangsters from the other ones were.
So,
did you watch the original first 3 or first 2?
I watched it. It was my favorite show. So
yeah, same.
But it's weird. I just watched the first episode of the new season last night, and it's really good. It's really good.
The way they start those shows and those series are amazing with the true story, and it's been changed. I mean, I guess a little bit of bullshit, but still, it's just the way they do those shows, and the cinematography of all of them is really like on a whole nother level.
It's kind of amazing. I hope we can get to finish it because it's not playing.
Have you watched Handmaid's Tale?
Great. It's amazing. I love it. You watch the Mark Ruffalo thing?
With him as like investigating Dark Water or something? No.
No. He just did this HBO movie where he plays. It's him. He plays 2 parts. He plays. It's basically he's twins and his twin brother's schizophrenic. And
it's on HBO now.
It's on HBO now. It's like I always
watch it.
But he throws down.
Wow.
He throws down. It's so good.
Speaking of HBO, you got a lot of your career started with HBO. I mean, the show, the Chris Rock show, and obviously your comedy specials. But would you ever do that again? I love that show. And you had Grandmaster Flash. I mean, talk about it's just like, and you started so many people from that show that were cameoed.
I would. I'm not against it. I don't know what these next 2 years. Not next 2 years. I got a year and a half. My daughter's out of school, right? I'm planning on moving to LA, and then we'll see. We will see.
Well, I think it's a really, to bring that type of a show back, maybe different format, I don't know, whatever, but you were so great at it. And you started, I think, as a political commentator on Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher, right?
Yes, I started on Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher. So,
still going.
Bill Maher, great guy. Gave me my shot. Gave me my shot when I was done. So I always try to tell my friends, it's never too late to be good. It's like, I know the last thing you did didn't work, and I know this didn't work, and I know failure. But it's like, if you're great, people will notice. And it's never too late. If you're in the game, you can hit the winning shot. It's never too late. And when I got that job, I'd been fired from SNL, and I'd been in movies that didn't work, and I was kind of a bust. It was like, oh, he's not Eddie Murphy, he's not Damon Wayans, he's not Martin, he's not, and I don't know. The Lord, for lack of a better term, woke me up, and I got focused, and it really that show really changed my whole life.
Interesting. Well, I was a fan of that as well, and I watched it just yesterday. And Bill comes in to catch a lot also. He's a good guy.
Bill's a really good guy. Bill gave me a shot, and a lot of people would not have given me that shot. Now the noise can come back.
Okay, good. So what do you think you will be doing next if you had to predict? I know it's impossible, but do you have some like dream that you haven't realized yet?
Nah, here's what's going to happen. I mean, because of Corona, no one's touring for 2 years.
Yeah.
Even if they are touring, like what I do, like no one's going to be in an arena for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's highly unlikely, right? So yeah, you got to rethink your whole life. So I'm gonna probably direct. I'm gonna probably direct soon. I'm almost done with this script because honestly, there's nothing else for me to do, like direct and star. But there's nothing
in
else.
a movie that you wrote.
Hmm?
Oh, that's wrong. In a movie that you wrote.
In a movie that I wrote, yeah, that's what. You know.
So writing, directing, and starring.
6 hours of therapy a week helps you focus. So yes, I've finished the script and finished one script and almost finished with another script and yeah, shit. Yeah, because it's not, you're not. I can't tell jokes. There's no. You can't really have an audience. So, but
you have a Netflix deal for a second show.
Yeah, so I owe them another special, and yeah, but right now
you got to be live.
You got to be, you got to have an audience.
Yeah.
So you don't want to see it without an audience. So I'm gonna finish Fargo, direct this movie I wrote, and yeah, let's keep it moving.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it.
Thank you.
And I appreciate your time.
Hey, anytime. You've been very good to me. You've been very good to my family. I'm always treated well at church.
Well, it's my honor to do that and to be able to speak with you today, and I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you in person when you come out to LA. Let me know so we can grab dinner.
All right, yeah, definitely.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Be safe, be healthy, my friend.
All right, be good.
I appreciate it. Good to see you.
Woo! Put on my glasses.
There it is. They make you look good, too. I like the black ones that you used to wear.
Yeah, next week.
All right. Good to see you. So that's Chris Rock, who is undoubtedly one of the most talented people alive, and I hope you enjoyed that. And really quick, we've got 10 minutes left. I have a quick chat with my dear friend DJ Cassidy. If he joins in, then I'll get him on. If he doesn't, then he is screwed. But he just did something called Pass the Mic that was on Twitch last night, and I wanted to talk to him about it and see what he plans to do with that. Big shout to Tim Cash also. I see you on there with his Twitch show, which has been really terrific. Excuse Twitch. I meant Quibi. Sorry. And let me grab DJ Cassidy for a second. And we're waiting for Cassidy. That was really great. I hope you liked that. Chris is so great. Hi, Cassidy. How are you, my favorite?
Hi. That was so great.
You like that? I see you got your Pink Resort sweatshirt, which should be mine because you said you were going to give me one, and yet here I am wearing green.